Welcome back to Tarot by the Bay. I'm David. Okay, I'm recording this at 5:50 p.m. on August 20th. It is a Tuesday. It is the second day of the DNC. And according to these live updates that I have in front of me from Yahoo News, Barack and Michelle Obama will speak on night 2, highlighting America's future theme. I don't believe he's been up there. When I last checked a video feed, it looked like they were still doing the casting of the delegates for the various states. So I have no upfront knowledge here. But I wanted to read on the impact Barack and Michelle Obama's speech will have on the vibe of the DNC as well as the election. From the Democrat perspective, Barack Obama truly is and was a rock star as far as president of the United States goes. If there was going to be a cult for Democrats for their president, Barack Obama would have been a pretty good shot for being able to start a cult had he wanted to do so. So it's going to be interesting to see what type of energy he brings to this party. It's also been interesting watching the Democrats basically turn the DNC into a giant party, into a giant celebration, keeping that energy that Kamala Harris, that wave she's been riding, and keeping that energy up. She's keeping it up through the DNC. And that's what I was watching. It was Beau with the Fifth Column, starring Bell. They were talking about how sometimes you get a bump after after the national convention. In this case, there's been exceptions where that bump didn't happen, and that's when the vice president pick was announced earlier than the national convention, and there wasn't much of a bump on those two conventions. John Kerry was one of them, and darn it, I'm forgetting who the second one was. But the counterpoint that Bell was making was that if you turn it into a spectacle, an event, and get people jazzed up watching the DNC, that could give you a bump. And lordy, is that exactly what the Democrats are doing. I'm going to be really curious to see, Kamala Harris and Tim Walz in their approval rating and the enthusiasm voters have for them after the DNC is done, when that polling is done. I've got to imagine it's going to be quite the bump. And remember, as Trump's poll numbers go down, the crazier and wilder he gets, and the more pressure there's going to be from the Republicans to get rid of him. Because now he's the old man in the room. He's Don Old, as you guys like typing in my comments. Okay, so this reading is going to be for entertainment purposes only. What do I know? I'm just some random dude shuffling tarot cards and asking questions and interpreting the answers. But that's kind of what tarot is anyways. So I hope you find this reading insightful. And I hope you subscribe and like the video and keep up to date with all the videos that I've got going on. Okay. Oh, and one last little plug here. I do have a second channel that I do with my identical twin brother, Gary. It's called Twin Tarot with Gary and David. Check it out. Thank you. So, come on down. Let's look at the energy of Barack Obama speaking, and Michelle Obama. Let's not leave Michelle out. She's beloved too, speaking at the DNC. How is that going to go? Okay, 7 of Coins. We've got an evaluation, looking at things of value. And I think that's what he's going to bring home. He'll probably link his values of himself and Michelle, their administration, and how, they planted these seeds back. This bush is now maturing, and now Kamala is here to reap the rewards of that and then build on it. So, it sounds egotistical, build on the rewards that we put in there. No, but it's like you have to maintain it and then spread it and grow it. They started this process. It's like basically handing over the keys to her and saying, this is your farm now. You go. You do with it as you will. Crossed with the Seven of Swords. Oh, interesting. And the Ten of Swords underneath it. I think, and if you're really like, oh my God, David, what? He's going to say she stole his ideas and it's going to put an end to her campaign? No, that's not the vibe at all that I'm getting with this. When this card first came out, the first thought that came to mind was, and how the Republicans stole Barack Obama's presidency out from underneath them. How they did everything they could to bring this man down. For the simple fact, his skin color had more melanin in it than a typical white person would have. If you remember, and I'm going to set the Wayback Machine to 2009, Mr. Peabody. Was it? I think it was Mitch McConnell was the one who said it, basically saying, our job is to make sure Obama is a one-term president. Whatever he wants, we're against it. If he wanted to give puppies and kittens to families and free lunches to children, they would be against it. They would be for kicking puppies and kittens and making children eat broken glass. It's just anything that they were going to obstruct, everything that Obama was going to try and do. And Obama, as for his presidency, it never bloomed like it should have because of shenanigans going on behind the scenes. Always trying to undermine him. Always trying to undercut him. Now, here's the other thing, though. Obama did have a mandate. He had Congress. He had the full Congress. They got stuff done. They didn't get as much done as they could, and then they got voted out in 2010. And then it was just a red Congress that he had to fight through for the remainder of his tenure there. And it really cut short the initiatives that Obama really wanted to get done. So I think with his messages, it's hope for Kamala Harris to take what they started and build on it, and don't let the Republicans steal your thunder. Don't let them undercut you. Don't let them stab you in the back. Don't get distracted by their shenanigans. Drive this thing forward. That's been Susan Lynn's little message, if you guys have been watching her, and I know many of you do, that no, she's the steam train. She's the locomotive. She's not going to pay these guys any heed, and that's kind of where I'm getting with this. In the past, the King of Cups, Obama was the right person at the right time that we needed him in 2008 and again in 2012. Joe Biden was the right person we needed in 2020. He was the one person who was going to get past Donald Trump. Joe Biden is now, and Biden has the link between the Obama administration and the Harris administration that's to be coming up. So, we have a lot to be thankful with our elder statesmen, with our former presidents, whether it's Barack Obama, whether it's Joe Biden, Bill Clinton, or even President Jimmy Carter. Current situation is a star. As I was saying, Obama's a rock star, and Kamala Harris is the rising star. What just came to mind as I was getting ready with that little comparison is the movie A Star Is Born. I never saw the Chris Christopherson, was it Barbra Streisand? One in the 70s. But I did see the Bradley Cooper, Lady Gaga version of it, which was an amazing movie. Now, obviously, it's a remake, and I had never seen the original. I did not know anything about the movie. It had a very sad ending to it, but it's, handing over the keys when it's your time to the next person and letting them take off. And this is kind of what's happening with the Democrats. The old guard is starting to let go and give it to the young stars coming up. They did that back in the 90s, and they need to do it again. They need to do it more often, too. This is about Obama's energy. Now, these cards are looking nice. Overarching energy is the Lovers card. Bringing people together. He's bringing that vibe, that great Obama vibe that he and Michelle had, that they brought to the Democrats. It made them feel like they could do anything. There was nothing they couldn't accomplish if we worked together on this. Star card and the Lovers. What a combo. The lesson to be learned is the Hermit. Obama has learned from what happened to him. He knows the path forward. Kamala Harris would be wise to heed what's happened to her predecessors. And believe me, as a prosecutor, I absolutely believe she has. She saw what they did to Obama. She saw what they did to Biden. And she understands what she's up against. What a great set of cards, though. Outcome is the Ten of Coins. Far be it from the Ten of Swords where it brings things to an end. This is the Legacy card. This, I think the DNC, when they're done, the fundraising is going to go through the roof. I think Obama really seals his legacy as a statesman. And it's, again, that passing those values from the Obamas through Biden to Kamala Harris, changing from the old guard to the new guard to the young guard that's here. There is a transition happening, and it's being spearheaded by some of the most popular Democrats that we've known in our lifetimes. I was too young for the Kennedys. But so when I say our lifetimes, understand mine started in the mid-'60s. For many in the audience, they knew where they were when they got the news about President Kennedy being shot. But it's a really, really positive message here. This is fantastic. All right. How will this impact the election? Or I should say, via poll numbers. Now, again, you've heard me say polls are inexact sciences. They're biased. Don't believe everything you hear with the polls. But unfortunately, they are a snapshot. Well, polls are a snapshot. Not unfortunately. That's just what they are. It's and polls also tell you what can happen most of the time. But, is this something between Obama and the way that the Democrats are holding this national convention? Is this something that's going to give Kamala Harris quite a pop in the polls? Let's see what Spirit has to say about that. King of Swords. Just do a little four-carder. What are we talking about here? Crossroads. I don't know if it's talking about... It's not really talking about the polls and the outlook on the polls. It's giving me a different story here. People are going to come out of this with a very firm idea of what their path is forward. So I guess it could be impacting the polls. It's telling why. They have a choice coming in. Coming into this, is Walz Harris the real deal? And I think they're coming out of this realizing, yeah, they're the real deal. Between the endorsements and what they're seeing in this one, these aren't rookies who don't know what they're doing. I was trying to figure out what this card was. We are not stuck with the lesser of two evils. It's like, who do I want to vote for, John Kerry or George H.W. Bush? Which is the least of the two evils type of thing. And that's not a slam on John Kerry or George W. Bush, not H.W. Bush. Not George W. Bush or John Kerry. But a lot of times people don't vote for the candidate that excites them. They vote for the one they think will do the least damage. And in this case, what you've got is somebody you want to vote for. And this is not a slam on Biden, but how many votes did Biden get? Not because people were really excited by Biden, but they just didn't didn't want to vote for Trump, and Biden was good enough. You know what I mean? Just like, Hillary Clinton didn't generate a lot of excitement. It's like, oh, I don't want to vote for Hillary, but oh God, Trump's even worse. That's a mindset for some people. When Obama was in there, this was not the case. This was the case with Obama. People wanted to vote for this guy. They wanted him in. They wanted him in bad because they saw the light in him. They saw the potential. He won a Nobel Peace Prize his first year in the presidency, and he hadn't done anything to really warrant it. But the thing is that the world recognized Obama for who he was. And it was kind of like, giving the promotion before he had done the work. But he understood the message. He understood that he had brought in hope, not only to the United States, but to the whole world during one of the biggest economic collapses that we had seen since the Great Depression. And uniting people and lifting people up. They saw that. And with Kamala Harris, you're going to see that again. I don't say she's going to win a Nobel Peace Prize, but what I am saying is that there is that excitement, that enthusiasm that you want to vote for this person. You want to get out and support them. You want to put that bumper sticker on your car because you're going to feel proud about that. That kind of thing. So I think that's pretty awesome. I'll do another when the DNC is done. I'll do another read on the polls to see how that's going to impact it. I cannot see a scenario where, unless something really collapses in the next day or two, I don't see a scenario where Kamala Harris and Tim Walz don't get a bump on this because the enthusiasm is there, the pageantry is there, the buzz and the sizzle is there. It's not only candidates with substance, but there's an excitement, there's an energy, and people are so desperate for it after 8 years of just bickering politics, everything involving Trump. It's just nice to have something you can be genuinely excited for. That doesn't mean that the Republicans and the Trumpsters, the folks that would overturn our election, won't be up to their dirty tricks, but there could be so many people activated by this that they could pull out all the stops and it still doesn't matter. So get out, make sure you're registered to vote, get out and vote. Okay? We'll do our part so that Kamala Harris and Tim Walz can do their part. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.